How's it going? I don't normally do a live stream, but when I do, I decide to do it now. So, well, if anybody's out there, you guys free to chime in. I think I'm gonna go ahead and be here. Well, nobody's here so far, but what could I say? Well, who knows, right? I don't know. I've been thinking about doing a video of just shower, bro. Just shower. That's kind of what my video idea has been about. Let me know what you guys think. It's you guys. Maybe I should have chosen a better time to do a live stream, but uh, who cares, right? I'm just winging it. Kind of a impromptu thing. I was kind of thinking of doing a live stream today, or actually a couple of days, but you never know. I mean, it's one of those things where this was kind of impromptu. Hey, I see somebody joined in. Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in. It's one of those impromptu things that that I that I just kind of did off the just randomly. I don't know. I've always been kind of apprehensive about doing a live stream, but I'm glad I'm starting to get at my clamshell. I'm not seeing. I wonder if there's any. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Cool beans, cool beans. Alright, well. I'm not sure. I'm trying to see if I could. I don't know why I'm not able to see the comments. I don't know what's going on. Or anyway, the background. I don't know if I've done these before in my house, but I used to have like this big old tapestry, which is kind of like a bed sheet, and then recently I decided to say, you know what, I gotta change. I gotta go something that's more of my style. Kind of the monochrome thing. Person, I'm so sorry. I'm terrible. I know that person that's viewing me. I'm so sorry. I mean, I'm trying to see if I could see the comments, but it's not letting me able to. So I'm really sorry if you're 28 people on here, huh? That's weird. There was one person now. Hi, Samuel. How's it going? 28 people? I find that very hard to believe. I don't think. Me cae. Me cae bien. Uh, pues gracias, lo agradezco. Brian James, there's no purpose of the video. I'm just chiming in, just starting a conversation. Nothing better to do. But, I'll be honest with you, I kind of wanted to take the time to test the lighting in the room because this room's kind of very dark, so there's really no purpose. I mean, when I've done live streams before, just random topics, you could bring up anything. Oh, mira, lo siento mucho, mira. Voy a tratar de también hablar español y lo siento mucho. A ver, Ramos. Oh, sorry, okay. This is cool though. I want to make TikToks too. I hope you keep going. Yeah, TikTok seems like the place to go. Sí, como Brian James dice, Brian James, ¿hablas español? No sabía. Mm. Oh, sí, Brian James mencionó algo del TikTok. Parece que el TikTok es muy popular hoy en día. Oh, muy poco. Oh, está bien. I'll speak English, so I could. It's kind of funny because a lot of people that are not bilingual, are like, how do you switch from English to Spanish very fast? También hay gente que dice para la gente que habla inglés y español, oye, ¿cómo brincas de uno al otro? ¿Cómo es eso? You 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 speak, you spec. Fortnite Nathan. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. I'm so sorry. Nathan, I wish you speak. You know, I think it reminds me of that one time where an episode one, the Phantom Menace. I speak. It's like the ability to speak does not make you intelligent. I don't know if you guys remember that line. En ¿cómo se llama? En el primer episodio de Phantom Menace que anda diciendo cuando Jar Jar Binks anda cuando, se encuentra a Qui-Gon y dice, oh, yo hablo. Ah, no, es porque hablas, no significa que eres persona inteligente. Mexica Aguar. Ay, hola, mucho gusto. Oh, wow, hay 18 personas. There's 18 people on here. So, you know, and I was, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Si tienen preguntas, nomás digan. Y trato de contestar las preguntas. O si quieren hablar de algún tema, ¿por qué no, verdad? So, it's Sunday. Does anybody follow football? Gracias. I enjoy your videos. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate all the support, guys. I'm definitely one of those people that are very appreciative of every time you guys give me because I know how there's a lot of videos out there, and I'm glad you take the time to watch what I'm able to say. I know how to make contact. Dylan the Dino. Do satisfying things. I'm going do satisfying things. I'm going to like unsubscribe. Oh, thanks, Dylan. Sigue así. Que no te detengan. Oh, muchas gracias, es cierto, ¿verdad? Porque ahora en el YouTube y por lo general en la internet hay mucha gente muy tóxica y nomás le gusta hacer daño. So, Dylan, what Ever Ramos is saying is, to not let me hold back. So, oh, you'll be back in a couple of minutes? All right, cool, no problem. I'll be here probably in a couple of minutes. Sometimes I like to dedicate quite some time, so I think I'll be here for quite some time. So no rush. Oh, gracias. Sí. Oh, ¿sabe qué? Tengo curiosidad de dónde miran. Yo ando aquí en Arizona, en Estados Unidos. So I'm in Arizona. I'm in the United States. Let me know where you're from in the comment sections. S- Pues voy a tratar de hablar inglés y español a la misma vez. No, para no aislar a gente, ¿verdad? Pero parece que Brian James sí entiende español un poquito. Pues qué bueno, me da gusto. Oh, eres de México. Oh, pues somos vecinos. México es un país muy bonito. So yeah, I just asked, where everybody's from. Free to chime in, guys. Definitely don't be shy. Oye, y Ever Ramos, nomás de curiosidad, ¿de qué parte de México nos ves? Nos visitas hoy. No, es por curiosidad, ¿verdad? No ando tratando de presionar, ¿verdad? De que a gente, ¿verdad? En preguntas, digo, en cuestiones de cierta gente, ¿verdad? De que, no, pero, a veces, pero una cosa que nunca, nomás quería mencionar, que, ¿sabe qué? A veces hay mucha gente que le gustan los videojuegos y yo nomás nunca he podido ser amante del videojuego, pero, ¿sabe? Al menos que haya gente que sí le guste los videojuegos. Hey, notice that there's some new people on here, so I'm just switching back to English and Spanish. I'm not trying to alienate anyone. La verdad, no sé. A veces me confundo. Oh, sí. Pero, desde Nine, la verdad, no sé. Oh, perdón, es lo mismo. No, pues no, fíjate, anda, lo que anda tratando. Fíjate, la cosa es que sí tengo un canal en español. También que se llama el Mapache 2.0. Pero, como no, como a veces me confundo, porque la cosa es que he notado que en Latinoamérica y Estados Unidos, a veces los problemas no, y los temas de qué hablar, a veces me confundo y no sé exactamente qué cubrir cuando he hecho cosas, digo, videos en español. Creo que soy de Ciudad México. No, yo nunca he ido a Ciudad México, pero tantos videos que he visto de Ciudad México, sabes que se me ha hecho muy interesante. Y pues ni se diga la comida, ¿verdad? Uf, es wow. Especialmente a veces la gente que hace las enrolladitas ahí, uf, se te hace se te hace agua a la boca. Pero a veces, no, pues Ever Ramos, ando notando que, pues si hay algún tema que quieren que toque, if there's a subject out there, guys, that you'd like me to talk about, I'd be more than happy to cover it. So don't be shy. No, definitely let me know, guys. I'm here for you. Pues sabe que una cosa que he notado yo de de tanto, parece que mucha gente hoy día toma como refugio, ¿verdad? En la internet, porque a veces he visto videos así como acerca de la salud mental y a veces he notado que mucha gente le gusta comentar y decir cosas buenas de otra gente y por lo menos, ¿sabe qué? Sí, como me da gusto, ¿verdad? Que haya gente buena en este planeta porque en la internet tanta gente... ah, no es tan buena y eso me da gusto que se haga una gente buena. Yo casi siempre juego solito. Videojuegos. Me imagino que a eso te refieres, ¿qué no? Los videojuegos. O sí, porque los sí, pero no hay nada mal, ¿verdad? Porque a veces, para decirte la verdad, a mí me gusta andar solo también. No, creo que hay nada mal. So, guys, if there's English speakers out there, Evan Ramos is just telling me, like he likes to play video games by himself, and I think it's something quite normal, guys. I think we are all introverts, so. For the English speakers that are out there, I definitely don't want to leave you in the dark with what Evan Ramos is saying. I'm just kind of being that bridge right between Spanish speaking and English speaking. So I try to do that as well. No ando tratando de decirle nomás a los que hablan inglés que pues trato de ser ese puente, ¿verdad? Entre los dos idiomas, entre el español y el inglés. Nada más porque pues podemos aprender de uno al otro. Oh, y si hablas español, deja un comentario que no te dé pena. Aquí podemos hablar de lo que sea. Conmigo no hay problema. No, es que la razón que quería hacer este live, nomás a imprevisto, nomás para tratar de llegar a hacer la costumbre otra vez. He tratado de hacer lives, pero a veces como me detiene y a veces digo, no, como a ver, no sé, como hay algo así que detiene a uno, pero no puedes ponerlo en palabras. Ya sé que se oye medio confuso. Yeah, I mean, I've just been trying to put it into words, that I just try to verbalize things. Like I was telling this, like what I was just saying in Spanish. Sometimes I've been trying to get in the habit of doing live streams, but it's kind of hard to put it into words. That's what I was just saying. Yo aquí todavía tratando de averiguar la cosa de cómo se va con todo esto del, del live stream. Ah, como, ¿sabes qué? No es bueno. An- animaciones, como una caricatura, ¿verdad? De explicar. Buena opinión. Oh, gracias. No soy dueño para opinar. No, pero se aprecia, ¿verdad? Porque tal vez, digo, aunque sea que uno da su opinión, no hay nada mal, digo, es nada más su opinión. Si hay alguien más que se ofende, pues acerca de nuestras opiniones, pues oye, como no es demasiado, ¿verdad? ¿Para qué? ¿Para qué ofenderse, verdad? Sí. No, o a veces le da tal vez uno pena o le da cosa, pero ¿para qué? A veces uno tiene que ser un poco atrevido sin la vida, ¿verdad? Pues mientras no andes tomando un riesgo muy grande. No, so like Ever Ramos was saying, he's saying he's not one to give an opinion, and the truth is, there's no risk in giving your opinion, right? I mean, unless if it's something that's really risky, right? But other than that, I mean, sometimes you're not taking a big risk. But other than that, no, si hay alguien más que hable español, no tenga pena a comentar en el live stream, if you're out there, definitely mm, let us know what your opinion is. Don't be shy. ¿Sabe? Una cosa que quería mencionar. Pues sabe que a veces no sé qué decir, pero a ver, pues a lo mejor ahorita se me ocurre un tema de hablar. Maybe right now I'm gonna think of something to say. But I don't know. Sometimes it's like I have to have a plan for everything. Like I have to, be kind of organized and have like a certain thing. Sí, como, ¿sabe? A veces no soy muy bueno para hacer cosas imprevistas. Como a veces tengo que organizar todo muy bien y sé que se me ocurra como un tema y tener todo organizado. Porque a veces como hacer algo imprevisto, no sé, pero como, como siempre ¿cómo se llama? Como a veces no sé qué pensar, ¿verdad? Y se me atora. Sometimes I don't know, when I do something impromptu, it's like, what do I do? Ever Ramos was saying something about animations, like tell a story with animations. I don't know. The thing is, I'm just not the artistic type or make animations. Maybe maybe there's some people that are good at computer stuff and they're able to do that stuff, but I don't know. It can't be. Creo que me tengo que ir. Oh, está bien, mira, lo agradezco mucho. No te preocupes, no, aquí uno no está obligado, aquí uno está porque quiere, ¿verdad? No te sientes, entiendo que a veces tenemos que hacer ciertas cosas. Sí, pero mucho gusto, Ever Ramos. Que te la pases bien. Yeah, so Everett Ramos, he has to go, and that was and he was very gracious. He was very kind enough to say, "Hey, look, I'm sorry." It's kind of nice of him though because How much people do you say, that are that's that have good manners, and Ever Ramos definitely has good manners. It's like some people like I don't know. Maybe do you guys think maybe people that have good manners or maybe very in short supply? ¿Creen que los que tienen buena educación están están en un buen day? Sigue tus sueños. Oh, gracias, Ever Ramos. Gracias. Oh yeah, it says follow my dreams. That's what Ever Ramos is trying to say. The two folks that are on here still. Let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are. Los dos que andan aquí. Oh, pues ya. Andan aquí, pues ni modo. Se fueron. Pero una. Pues aquí va a estar, ¿verdad? ¿Sabe qué? No sé de qué hablar, pero. Porque tengo que llenar ese vacío. I have to fill that void. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about mental health. One of the things I noticed, guys, is that I want to talk about mental health because I've always thought it's a good space to go into because the truth is, it's kind of hard to talk to people, and then therapy's kind of expensive. I'm not here to say that I'm here to somebody say, oh, I'm somebody that does that's a mental health professional, not at all. So but I kind of want to enter that space, where I could try to help out people feel better, or try to cheer them up, because that's maybe something I can do, right? I said, hey, welcome. I see somebody's finally joined us. Well, not finally, but there oh, veo que alguien nos acompañó. Pues salúdanos, no tengan pena. Say hello, definitely chime in the chat. Deja tu comentario en el chat, no hay problema. Uh, sí, lo que quería decir era el tema de, de la salud mental. Era de que hoy día mucha gente sufre de eso. Y pues en que sea que uno no puede, uno no es consejero, psicólogo por sí, pero pues animar y ser persona pues que no anda tan negativa, ¿verdad? En la internet, porque gente negativa en la internet, eso falta, siempre hay mucha de esa gente. Y es un tema que siempre he querido entrar en la cosa del, del tema pues el tema de salud mental. Sí, pues no he visto a nadie aquí, pero aquí estoy. Ay, se me cayó. Siempre ando jugando con. Tengo que jugar con algo. No sé si a ustedes le pasa. I have to always be playing around with something. I don't know about you guys, but I think I might be autistic. I think I might be on the spectrum. I don't know. I'm not that I'm trying to laugh at anyone or make fun of anyone, for uh, being neurodivergent. No ando tratando de hacerle burla a nadie, pero siempre como tengo que jugar, creo que a veces he pensado, esto que soy autista y no sé qué opinan ustedes, pero siempre he tenido ese como cosa. Hey, how's it going? I see somebody has joined us. Veo que alguien nos acompañó. So, English o español, lo que sea, or whichever one it is, right? I'm here to speak, Pero a veces no va bien la cosa. Así es. Well, since I'm doing it on an English channel, I think I'm going to speak English. So, hey, I see somebody just joined us. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I try to cover Wow, that's weird. Every time I'm saying like, "Hey, how's it going, person?" Finally enjoying this. I think I'm just not gonna say anything. Hmm. Wow. If what I want to go ahead and say, guys, is that I don't know about if I'm not sure if you guys ever watched this guy called Timothy Ward. I'm a huge fan of his videos, actually. He's always talking about mental health topics, and he's always going on these walks to like these beautiful places. You know, I wish I could do that. I mean, just go outdoors in nature. But I don't know. Sometimes bugs and stuff. They kind of just they kind of just deter me, and I don't want to go on walks. Maybe I should go to parks and go around a walking path and just do my thing. You know what I mean? Jelly bean. So let me see. Sometimes it's kind of hard because like, what could I say? Yeah, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a video with prompts, guys. I think I'm gonna. I was thinking about doing that video. Just shower, bro. Just shower. Um, I think I'm gonna do one because I also have a channel. So I'm gonna go while you guys are out there. I'm gonna go ahead and just pull out the prompts. I don't know if you guys are hearing me, but I'm gonna be here just getting some prompts for my next video. So do you hear any background noise? That's what it is. Yep. If anybody hears me out there, I'm just getting some props. I'm thinking about doing a video. Just saying, just shower, bro. Just shower. You know. I'm thinking about covering a hygiene topic. I've done it before, but I'm going to do it today. Let's see. Let me see. Just getting some. Not a paid sponsor. Just getting some prompts. I mean, some props out there because I'm going to do a video about hygiene. So I want to cover that video. I'm not trying to make fun of anyone. I'm just getting some props out there. Just, I don't know. What else? What other props can I. Oh, excuse me. I had a burger earlier. It was pretty heavy. So I'm a little burpy. But yeah, just getting some props out there. That's if you see me being gone and then back. That was me. Dun dun dun. You know, I think I've thought of doing different kind of videos, but I'm trying to see. Well, you guys, if you guys do have video suggestions out there for me to do in the future, and just let me know. I'm just thinking about brainstorming some ideas. Actually, I had some ideas written down. Let me see if I could find those. Now that not that I can't think of anything. I have some videos ideas of what I'm gonna do. So let me go ahead and get some of those props. Yeah, let me not props. The list. Let me go ahead and get that list of video ideas, so I could. Let's say I wrote them down because I have the worst memory on the planet. Let's see. What should I go to college? Yeah, I've done that before, but it's been a while. Maybe I should revisit that, right? Because it's been quite some times. How to handle rejection. I've done that one before, just recently. You are your own biggest enemy. Fake rich people. Incels are gay. He just did that. Skippy the Virgin. That's a very interesting character on YouTube. I kind of wanted to do a video about that guy, but not to bash him because I'm not here necessarily to bash people. That's just not my thing. Where I want to do that. But that's kind of a video. Maybe who knows? Maybe I have some ideas, guys. I have my list here that I've written down. Let me know if you have some ideas. Put them in the comments section. But that's what I wanted to just say. Yeah, I think Skippy the Virgin would be a pretty good topic to talk about. But yeah, mainly what I talk about is just incel forums, just incel videos. That's or not, try to help out incels because so a lot of them, most of them are good people. I mean, a lot of they get a bad rap because there's been some wackos out there that do crazy stuff that's just wrong. That and people get the wrong idea. Just like media, they just love to blow things out of proportion, right? They get one dude and they go ahead and they say, "Oh yeah, this, he's an incel, he's bad, 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 bad." Instead of, you know, the news, how they just try to show two sides of the story and just say, "Hey, look, you know, back," because I think back then that's how it was when I was a kid. Like they would do like those what is it, like those 60 minutes, um or what is it, 48 hours, or 2020, these expose journalism shows where they would cover a topic, right, where it was two-sided. And I would say on this hand we have this viewpoint, and on the other, and they would interview people right on certain subjects, and it would be unbiased. But now it's like the journalists are just media is just so propagandized and they have an agenda, and it's just crazy. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to say, guys. Just random stuff. But one of the things I also want to go ahead and mention, I'm going to be here for a little bit. Um, but what else what's another thing I want to go ahead and cover? There's so many videos that, sometimes, to be honest, guys, I feel like I've covered every topic I possibly can about, men's mental health. And I'm pretty sure there's stuff out there that I'm probably missing, but I just can't think of anything in particular. But I'm pretty sure there's out there stuff that are out there that I'm probably sure I haven't covered. But I don't know. The thing is, what to cover. Sometimes what could be an interesting thing? Doing like a Reddit, like reading off Reddit comments. I noticed that there's some videos that do that. Like, let's go ahead and go to Reddit and just read some of the Reddit comments right on like a certain topic. I think that's what some people do, right? Where they do that kind of stuff, and I think it would be kind of interesting, right, to do that. Like, oh, just to have a good time and just joke around. But that's kind of what I've been wanting. Well, not wanting to do, but I've been thinking about it. That's a good idea. Let me see. Reading Reddit. Let me write that down. Because I'm very forgetful. I forget stuff. Reddit. Reading Reddit comments. Who knows? Maybe that could be a possibility. I have done film reviews, and I did a documentary review on, what is it, Elliot Rogers. So I've done that before. I did cover beta males. Hey, stoicism. I don't. Have I covered stoicism? Maybe I have, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. Which I'm not wearing. I am not wearing a hat, guys. So I think I'm just. So what I was gonna, sometimes, guys, I'm at a loss for words. So just bear with me. Let's see. Hmm. You know, Sometimes to fill the space, I think I'm gonna just ask, guys. Are any of you guys like like Star Wars fans, Lord of the Rings fans, Yu-Gi-Oh fans. Anything in particular? Sometimes I can't get into shows nowadays, right? Like Stranger Things or these other shows. I can't remember the other one. Stranger Things just happens to be one of the only shows out there, but I've never been into shows like that. The only show that I could really follow is Breaking Bad. I don't know, it's such a great story, but that's the only show I could actually, you know, follow. But yeah, I've always been a huge fan of Star Wars. I mean, I try to pretty much I consume anything Star Wars, right? That Disney has all the shows. But sometimes I like a lot of the Star Wars fan made films that have been made. Those are pretty cool. So I like to watch those a lot. But also, what other things do I like to watch on YouTube? I like to watch also restoration videos. I like I like anything that has to do with cars, and someone's like, "Oh, this beater car," and then all of a sudden they restore it. I love watching those kind of videos. Those are always very interesting. Where you get to see how they are from the beginning, and then how they are. And it's kind of nice because some of them, you have some videos where they just go from really bad to worse. So that's kind of the things that I like to watch on YouTube. Hey, I see somebody new has joined us. Hello, how's it going? Yeah, that's I'll be honest with you. I think Star Wars, the Episode One, The Phantom Menace, is one of the best Star Wars films. But a lot of people like to trash it because Jar Jar Binks. And the truth is, guys, Jar Jar Binks. Sure, yeah, he's kind of one of those characters. But I think if you probably like, let's say for example, I think Jar Jar Binks, if you decided to just like have him, like I think up to the Boss Nass part, or let's say they did something nice for him, right, and they rescued him, and what is it? And they just kind of joined him in Naboo, and they took him to Coruscant without very little talking, right? And then he just kind of disappeared, and you never heard about him. I think that's how they should have probably fit in Jar Jar Binks, or, or you know what? Maybe you do this: have Jar Jar Binks after they get to Theed, they say, "Hey, Jar Jar, nice knowing you, but this is where we have to, where Qui Gon and Obi Wan to say, this is where we have to part our separate ways. Good luck, Jar Jar. Good luck on your on your future ventures." And that's it. I think that's probably where they should have not killed off Jar Jar, but just kind of like, okay, goodbye, and that was it. But I think there's, now that we're on the topic of Star Wars, there's some other stuff too. I think that that are unnecessary, like Attack of the Clones, the episode two. The whole C-3PO, and he's like in that droid factory, and they put a droid head. And they kind of try to add um, that comedic theme, right? But sometimes there's too much comedic relief, kind of ruins the seriousness of Star Wars, and that's kind of what I didn't like. But these newer movies, I think like these newer ones, there sometimes there's too much comedic relief. Um, Sometimes what happens, guys, is that sometimes the Star Wars films they could be better. They could be better, but there's certain things where, like for example, these Star Wars films, like where I want to say other things. I mean, it's kind of especially the last one, right? They could have had, where they had all these spacecraft, right? They could have done this giant epic space battle, right? And what happens? They don't do that epic space battle. That would have been so freaking awesome. Like have an all-out space battle, just focus on that space battle, right? And in that movie, I think they could have redeemed themselves with, because with all that wokeness and stuff. But that's neither here nor there, right? But that could have been a redeeming point for the last Star Wars movie. Have this epic space battle and go all out. And heck, even you could even have Lando Calrissian lead that space battle between all those crafts. That would have been pretty cool, right? To kind of have like that return to all this super cool things that made Star Wars awesome. So that's a lot of things, that I just wanted to say that they could have redeemed themselves, but with what made Star Wars great, all these awesome space battles, but yeah, I don't know. It's just not okay. you know. But other than that, what other things could a Star Wars? I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you think Star Wars, if there was ways that you could make Star Wars better, because Star Wars in itself has a lot of potential, but I think they've just been, I don't know, just the people that have been writing this stuff. I don't know. They're, they're just not the same, and it seems like the writers are the problem with Star Wars now. Um, but what I want to say is that what else? You know, Speaking of Star Wars, you know, I don't know if you guys follow Generation Tech. I kind of like those because they're kind of like just hypothetical videos that he used. It's been a while that I haven't seen Star Wars videos like the Generation Tech. Like, what would happen if Palpatine decided to invade Earth, or what happened if Star Wars decided to invade Earth, or something? That would be kind of cool, right? That's another cool things that could be done with Star Wars. What if, for example, guys, the Empire comes and invades Earth, and let's say the Empire is just beating all these militaries, right? They are having their way with them. And let's say, for example, the United States military, China, Russia, the EU, they can't take these guys down. And and all of a sudden, SETI decides to send a help beacon, like an SOS message out there in the universe. And guess who gets it? The Rebel Alliance. The Rebel Alliance gets this distress signal, and a fleet commanded, well, not necessarily by Admiral Akbar, but somebody, right? And a rebel fleet comes out of hyperspace, joins the fight to help Earthlings fight off the Galactic Empire. That I think that would be a freaking awesome film if they could make that happen. I bet you, but do it the right way though, not this cartoonish, too much comedic relief kind of thing. That would be an awesome film. But other than that, I'm trying to think of other awesome Star Wars ideas that could be implemented. Um, trying to think. I don't know. Let me know, guys, in the comments. Whoa, hey, what's up, Eric? Sorry if I can't pronounce the last part. But hey, how's it going, Eric? Good to join us, man. I'm glad you're here. Just covering like how Star Wars can be improved. That's kind of what we're talking about. I was just mentioning about this pretty cool idea for Star Wars, right? Where the Galactic Empire invades Earth, and Earth cannot defend itself from the Empire, and SETI, as a last ditch effort to do something, they send an SOS signal out there in the universe, and guess who comes? The Rebel Alliance. That would be a cool film. That would be an awesome film. I think that, and then, it would be kind of cool. Just have, and then just have, yeah, I think that would be a cool film. But kind of have it a serious tone, kind of like Rogue One. Make it gritty. Yeah, there you go. Have a gritty feeling to Rogue One. That's kind of what I've been thinking of. That would be. I think that's where you should go with this film. That's kind of what I've been thinking. Um, but other than that, those are just my thoughts, guys. Guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just cut it short, guys, for tonight. But I want to go ahead and thank everyone that was on this live. My niece is here, and you know I love it when she comes, guys. But I'll see you guys in some other time. We're gonna try to do more live streams. So take care, guys. I'll see you later.